What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode number 36 of Lyon Live here in Football Manager 2019. Hopefully you guys are good, and well, today we are back once more. If you missed last episode for whatever reason, do go check it out. Today we are going to be kicking things off, as you can see here, with the Champions League quarter-final against Tottenham. A big game for us, and while following on from that, we are going to have a game against Saint Etienne, which provides us with a golden opportunity to win the league. Yes, at home against our rivals. I mean, what a time it would be to do it. Just to look at the league table. With 6 games left, you can see we sit just top of the pile by 18 points. Such a fantastic season. It really can't be understated how good of a year it's been. We've looked top draw, and yeah, we deservedly are top. Of course, last episode we did take on PSG. We beat them 2-0. Following on from that, we continued on in the French Cup, where we are in the semi-final. And of course, a draw against Tottenham in the first leg puts us in an okay situation. We had a bit of an interesting game against Tottenham, I guess it would be fair to say. A team who, I don't know, I feel like going into that game against Tottenham, you would have backed us to beat them. At least after the start of the game, but it didn't quite work out that way, did it? You can see their predicted kind of starting 11 could be something like this, although Zivkovic is injured for them. That might be a little bit of a blessing because he's very, very good. In terms of our team for this game, just thinking a little bit ahead, I think we're going to go with the 5-man midfield. I feel like that is the system to use in this kind of game. Obviously, our players have very, very good gelling in this system in terms of their cohesion. And all in all, I just feel like it's our best bet at victory. Spurs are a team who are in really, really good form. They're currently 4th in the Premier League, so they're not going to be pushovers by any means, and we are going to have to be at our absolute best. You can see here our scouts have finished scouting Pellegrini, or Pellegrini even, not Pellegrini. That's a completely different Italian player. But Pellegrini here looks absolutely insane. I can't help but feel like, having just signed Gabels or Gibels, that we're not going to be able to pick him up. I will say now, there is still an ongoing debate in the chat about how you should say this guy's name. His last name is Dutch, but I believe that he wants it to be said the French way. I know it's a bit of a meme here on the channel, my pronunciation of names. I've seen about 4 or 5 different suggestions for how I should be saying the guy's name, from a Dutch version to a German version to the French version. And this is the fundamental issue I have with names, is that depending on what country a player's from, the way you say their name completely changes. I've always found it a little bit amusing where someone from, I'm trying to think of a fairly random country. Let's just say Serbia for the sake of argument. Shout out to my Serbian viewers. I know you guys are out there. But they'll be like, oh my gosh, this guy's name's so easy. Like, this is how you pronounce it. And it'll involve a sound that I just don't make in the English language. And then a Romanian viewer tunes in and goes, why did you not know how to say the Romanian player's name? And then the Norwegian viewer chips in and goes, well, that's not how you say the Norwegian player's name. The issue I have is, as an Englishman, I have to fulfill the stereotype of not being able to speak non-English languages. But also, secondary, I just can't remember every single nationality and language's rules for how the alphabet is pronounced in that language. It's just not feasibly possible. So whilst I understand it might sometimes be frustrating when I get a name wrong and it's a name that's of your country or a language that you speak, please do just understand that. Additionally, there are times where I just get English names completely wrong. Feel free to absolutely roast me for those, because that is just my own incompetency. Anyway, in terms of team for today's game, we're at full strength. We have no injuries to speak of. We're in dreamland. We can pretty much do whatever we want. And I think this is the team that is going to hopefully carry us over the line. We're going to have Lopez in goal. Had a great year last year, averaged a 7.01. This year he's on a 7.02. He's done pretty well. He has already conceded more goals than last season in the league, which is not ideal. At the back, we're at full strength, so it's going to be Kenny Tete at right back. At left back, we of course go with Mendy. They've kind of been our fullback since the beginning of time. Of course, at centre-back, 2 players who have joined us since we took over the club 2 years ago. Wallace at centre-back, and alongside him, his French compatriot, Lenglet. I mean, I'm just going to remind you guys, £8.5 million spent on Lenglet, 7.35 average rating in the league. He's improved a ton as well. You know, French international, can play on the left centre-back and left-back position. Consistent, enjoys important matches. When I said international, I meant it under 21. It doesn't sound as good when I say under 21 international and he's 24, but I think he will end up in the French national team. But what a signing he's been for us. In the centre of midfield, we're of course going to go with Fekir as our playmaker. I mean, what a player this guy's been. Over the last 2 years, he's been massive for us. This year, he's actually averaging a higher average rating, but he hasn't assisted nearly as many. We've not been as good at set pieces this year, it feels like. Of course, ball-winning midfielder, we have Toussaint at 22 years old. He's just superb. Alongside him, we have Tanguy Ndombele. It's kind of surprising, actually, how little the team's changed. In terms of players who have come into the team since I took over, who are here in this starting 11, the two centre-backs are new players, and Gabels is a new player. Everyone else was here when we joined. Excuse me. Which really gives you an idea. Clear my throat. Take 2. I apologise. That must sound horrible to listen to. Well, at least I've got your attention now. But no, when you look at our team, it's really impressive the fact that we have only signed 3 players in this starting 11, and the rest has just been existing players at Lyon really stepping up and improving. They've proven it domestically. I am very confident that by the end of today's episode, the league will be ours. But we've got a chance to prove ourselves here in Europe. Now, Spurs do have an away goal, so we absolutely have to score today. So despite the fact we are going to play the pressing kind of 5-man midfield system to kick off the game, there might come a point in this match where we do have to start chasing. When that happens, we'll of course go for it. But yeah, we'll see how we get on. We don't go into this game, I don't think, as favourites really. I think Spurs being at home will fancy themselves here. But we've been good. We've been solid. It's a case of can we prove ourselves in. We've got a chance. Fekir whips in. Gabels free header off the woodwork. The rebound could not quite be latched onto by Ndombele there. I mean, it's a good early sign. I guess that's what you could say about that. Vertonghen on a booking could play in our favour. Against Spurs, by the end of the game, I think they perhaps had the better of the chances, but certainly for the first 80 minutes, we were the better team. And, well, we kind of crumbled as Lopez. What a stop that is. Harry Kane, of course, you might remember, he had a chance at the end of the previous leg to win the game for Spurs, and he missed it. Another opportunity fell his way there. It was early on in the game, I guess, on the counter-attack, but squandered away. Early on, it's not too dissimilar to the last game. It's been a very tight affair here. Tete tries to switch the ball to Memphis, can't get there. Serge Aurier clears it, but we do come back with the ball. Fekir trying to pull the strings from deep, perhaps. Goes to Fekir, tries to get the ball to Gabels. Toussaint mocks the pieces, tries to switch the play to Lucas Romero there. Cleared away by Lloris. I think it's Lloris in goal. Fekir, Memphis, finish that! Oh my gosh, he spooned it! He's completely fluffed his lines. He's completely scuffed the effort. And it just fell straight into the keeper's hand. Although there might be more chances here. Tete down the right-hand side. Space to get the ball into the box. We need at least 1 goal today. Bertrand Traoré with it. Ndombele. He can hit them. I'd rather he didn't hit it, but he could hit it if he needs to. Turns his man a little. Mendy on the overlap. Spurs getting lots of men behind the ball. Trying to hit us on the break, perhaps. We're playing around with the ball at the back. Wallace out to Tete. Really nice build-up play here. Sustained pressure and possession is the name of the game. Back with Tete. Options in the middle. Back post. Memphis is there and he finds the back of the net. Kenny Tete, what a ball that was by the right back. I feel like we've deserved that off the balance of play. That was a really nice possession of play. A long highlight that just saw us retain the possession and just wait for the right opportunity to strike. Not committing, too many men into the final third. That is somewhat the name of the game, I guess, with our 4-5-1. But in terms of just overloading the midfield a little bit and then using our pace and flair in the final third, it's worked out there. Slightly concerning to see how the highlights start with the ball being kicked at the back of our defender, but Lenglet, I'm going to trust he knew what he was doing. Eric Dyer tries to put in a tackle. Of course, if we can get another here, Spurs would need 3. Ball whipped in. Gabels, it's spilt to Fekir. I mean, is that Lloris in goal? I think it is. It is. I mean, the game's realistic. At least he spilt the ball horrifically there from the Depay cross in. And, well, Spurs, they need 3 goals now in this game to even have a chance of going through. Lloris completely fluffs his lines. Fekir is there. Alert to the danger to get us a goal. From this situation now, we should be backing ourselves. 2 away goals. We have 1 foot in the semi-final. It's not going to be easy, though. There is still lots of time left in this game. An hour minimum, really, once you include extra time of football to be played. But if we could reach the Champions League semi-final, make no mistake, that would be a monumental achievement here. Gabels, clean through, kicks it straight at Lloris. That was a chance. That was such a good chance. We could have got a quick fire, double there through the Fekir goal and then Gabels. But unfortunately, he's just squandered the opportunity. And while Spurs coming forward, whip back post, Lucas Moura, Jack. Moira is a character in Overwatch. Ignore me. I'm going crazy. It's been a long day, guys. Trust me. Vertonghen. Oh my gosh, that was not far over either. Jan Vertonghen, the big Belgium, with the header. Now Kane is through. I mean, there is a lot of chances. Oh my gosh. I mean, Wallace. That looked like a red card in 3D for a second. My heart fell in my mouth. What's happened here? Who's getting a red card? What just happened? We're going to VAR about a potential red card. What's Wallace done? What did Wallace do off the ball? Or is this about the tackle? I mean, surely we're not going to VAR for a red card. What's he got sent off for? I'm so confused. No one knows what's happening. What's it for? For the tackle. Interesting. I mean, I said, didn't I? I thought it was a red card, but I thought he'd got away with it. Oh, it's a disaster. I mean, what do I do? Can Toussaint play centre-back? No. No is the answer to that question. Right, Fekir. Deep line playmaker on support. Toussaint. Ball-winning midfielder on defend. Then I'm sorry, Ndombele, but you're going to have to come off for Marcelo, I think. I mean, what a weird... I mean, you don't see VAR very often call back for a red card. Oh my gosh, not the double whammy. The rebound was not scored. But... man, I mean, VAR, it saved us against Liverpool. It might well have just kicked us massively in the gonads here against Tottenham. It's 2-0 on the night. Spurs still need 3. Depay's confused. At least he's not demotivated and confused. He's just confused now after the individual team talk. But no, Spurs need 3 goals. But against 10 men, at home, they might back themselves to do it. They've had opportunities in this match. We've probably perhaps had the better opportunities, but being down a man now, that kind of midfield battle that we were desperate to win perhaps isn't going to be as easy as it was looking. If we could get just one more now, it could be huge. Gabels is through. He finishes it. Let's go. Spurs, you need 4 to go through here. We hit them on the break. Down a man. Willem Gabels, or Gabels. I should the French way, Jack. French is apparently the correct way. I don't know it. I'm just going to use whichever one I feel like. But what a finish that is by Big Will. Lloris, I don't know if he could have done better on that one. I mean, we're a man down, but at this point you would expect us to get through, wouldn't you, really? It's been a really good clinical display in the final third. We've had a decent chunk of chances. We've created stuff. Even in this second half, we're continuing to match Spurs. We have a set piece here. Fekir whips it in. Back post. Who's there? I don't know. It's hit the woodwork. Lucas gets it clear. Only as far as Fekir. Crosses it or tries to. Dealt with nicely. I mean, it's just a bit of a silly foul there by Fekir, but I rate it. It's a great one to stop the break, and the referee hasn't even booked him. Genius. I mean, Spurs desperately need a goal here. Alderweireld, on off the bench, scores. I mean, they still need 3 more with 20 minutes left. Toussaint's not the best game at ball-winning midfielder. Let's bring in Lucas Romero. I will say it is a Lucas Romero who is known for losing his temper occasionally in, I want to say, stereotypical South American footballer style. I don't mean that in a bad way to my South American viewers, but I feel like, at least within Europe, I can think of a fair few South American kind of centre mids with a bit of a reputation for putting in a tackle. I think that just kind of comes from South American football in general. Like, the defenders love to throw themselves around. It's such kind of a more physical game that in Europe you can get away with a lot more. I'll let you decide whether or not it's a good or a bad thing, but players like Lucas Romero, they like to bend the rules. They like to put in crunching tackles. And, well, we'll hope today he's going to be well behaved. That's basically the long and short of it here. When we drew against Tottenham in the first leg and conceded that away goal, I felt heartbroken because we'd been so on top in the game. I mean, this is a fantastic turnaround here. we're going to win 3-1 on the night, 3-1 on the night, and that includes having, you know, a player sent off in the first half, albeit right at the end. I mean, there is still time for another. Memphis tries to switch the play. I want to believe that we could still get another goal here. It's been that kind of game. Defensively, you've got to say we've been outstanding here. It really doesn't matter if Spurs score here. It does not matter. I mean, well done. Round of applause. Of course, with away goals, they still need 2 goals. It means absolutely nothing. We're not even going to watch the highlight. That's how insignificant that goal is for them. But yeah, fantastic turnaround in this second leg. It's a shame in some ways that we've lost the second half 2-1. But let's be honest. The performance that we had when we were all even was, you know, more than justifying the lead. And while there might still be a chance here for Keir, I want to believe we could get another. We're not going to. We're going very far back here. I mean, we don't really need another goal now, I guess. Ref, you can end the game if you want. We're not that bothered about taking this free kick, are we? Memphis, yeah. He's not even going to get to kick the ball. Doesn't even get to kick it. But what a win that is. You can see here, Lyon would have felt disappointed not to win the first leg at home, but to imagine you get the result they needed here. And they've done well to do so. I mean, we have, especially a man down. I'm very happy. I guess the only concern born out of that result is the fact that Wallace won't be available for the semi-finals. Who else is in the semi-finals? Man City, Atletico and Porto. That's an interesting selection of teams. I feel like City are the team I'd like to avoid. But I mean, Liverpool are ahead of City in the league. I think they are actually like tied, and its goal difference is the difference maker. But you know, they're pretty interested. Pretty interested. They're pretty evenly matched. I'm reading interested because apparently, you know, Vinicius Junior might still be available. Maybe. I mean, they want his release clause again now. Remember when he was transfer listed for 60 million? He looked like a bargain then. I will say, I noticed a few people in the comment section talking about the fact our finances aren't that great. Just as a reminder, we have £40 million from the Dembele deal coming in the summer. And additionally, for the French teams, in the summer, you kind of get a lump sum. I can't remember if it's the prize money or if it's the TV money for the year. I want to say it's the prize money, but I might be wrong there, so don't quote me on it. But essentially, we're going to have a lot of money coming in, and you don't need to worry about the fact we're a little bit in the negative right now. Anyway, Champions League semi-final. We want to avoid Manchester City. Let's savour the draw. Porto. I'd like Porto, I think. Oh, I mean, there you go. And then Atletico and Man City meet each other. It would have been a little bit boring, wouldn't it, to meet another English team on this run that we've been on. You can see here Porto with Eder Militao, the player who we're looking to sign, of course. I mean, we could probably unsettle him a little bit more. Can we ask the board to sign him? We can. Apparently he'd cost too much for us to afford. They are probably right. But yes, Champions League now, semi-final, is really what we have to cast our attention forward and towards. I mean, that's huge for us. I will say that Champions League semi-final does result in a rejig of the Montpellier game. Why is there only one Champions League semi-final game scheduled? I'm confused. Okay, the other one has now appeared. I think we might even save it to do both of those games next episode, which might make this one a slightly shorter one, although if we wrap up the league, we might be thinking ahead to some transfer business to do in the summer. Gebels has been doing great in training again, or Gebels. I mean, look how much he's improving. Between him and Moise Kean, I mean, Moise Kean's improved a lot as well. I mean, what an exciting pairing up front. I've said it before. I'm going to mention it a lot. You might as well get a counter going in the comments for how many times I'm going to talk about them as a duo. But the next 10 years of Gebels and Kean is just going to be incredible. Anyway, you can see here a few league games picked up for TV. Not a great deal of money there. A few more players we were looking at scouting, including Joseph Johnson. Compensation of 350k. He's a consistent goalkeeper. Because he's Nigerian, we wouldn't have to pay a, we wouldn't have to worry about a work permit for him or any of that jazz. Or, you know, him being a non-EU player, because I'm pretty sure Nigerians count as, well, not homegrown, but as non-foreign. Apparently, he has compensation of 350k, so before I just approach him on a contract, what I always like to do with these kind of deals is just offer an amount and see what they say. So they want 600k, but we can just approach to sign him for 300k, plus some potential clauses. Let's get him on one of our long-term contracts. We're going to have 3 immense goalkeepers. I don't know what the solution's going to be there. We'll worry about it later. It's going to be fine. I actually think we might have saved a little bit of money if we'd put in a transfer offer instead of doing what I just did, but now it's too late. You see here, Engu Rangers have this guy, Bruno Eze, who's 17. My word! I mean, you're a good box-to-box midfielder. How much? How much do they want for him? 100 grand, roughly. I mean, yes, please. They want a friendly. Go on, we can give you a friendly just because you've got a great name. Engu Rangers. It's a good name. It's a good name. I rate it. Have we got any more players here being thrown our way who look particularly good? The answer is a resounding no. But anyway, this is our chance to shine, folks. This is our chance to win the league. Do I play a full-strength team here or do I rotate the team? Tell you what, Tete's a little bit tired, so we'll bring in Romero. Moreno might be a little bit concerned about his recent lack of first-team football, so we'll bring him in. And I think we'll play Moise Kean on the left, and we'll play Trincao on the left. And you know what, Fekir, I'm sorry, I'm going to play Dani Olmo in the middle. We're going to go with a kind of slightly younger attacking midfield setup. The fact that we can kind of swap like for like and still have such a strong attacking trio is just immense. The rotation options that we have in this side right now, the squad depth is just superb. And what's also quite pleasing is we've not really had that many players complaining about lack of first-team football. There's been very few players who have kind of turned around and complained about just not playing for us often, which is always a bit of a concern when you have a bigger squad and you're giving younger players, you know, opportunities. They kind of get a taste of that first-team football and then they start expecting it. We've really not had that here at Lyon. Granted, we have rotated the team a fair bit, but I feel like just in general, we've looked very good. By the way, I love the fact here that Saint Etienne have got cleverly Barini and also, I think they have Harry Wilson in attacking midfield. It's a very Premier League and ex-Premier League feel to the team. Anyway, they're bringing the ball forward here. Toussaint, what a tackle that is. Just as a reminder, a win here, or indeed I think a point here, would guarantee us the Ligue title. I mean, that's what's on the line. Can we go out there and get it? Saint Etienne, our big rivals, our biggest rivals, you could say. We have a named derby against them. Oh my gosh. Ndombele trying to write himself perhaps into the history books of this historic rivalry. That long-range effort, it was tipped over. Set piece here though, Wallace, free header. Ruffier with another fantastic stopping goal for them. Early on, the Frenchman between the sticks for them has been called into action regularly. And well, he was called in again and he hasn't dealt with it. Wallace, back post header. Francisco Trincao with a superb ball into the box. Ruffier, I mean, he could have got there and he didn't. Beaten at the near post. He'll feel pretty disappointed about that. We can perhaps breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief here. It looks like there isn't going to be any drama. We're not going to bottle the league in the most improbable way possible. Dani Olmo hits it. Oh my gosh, that was not far over. Again, another corner on this near side. Different routine this time. Instead of going to the back post, we went to Olmo, who was unmarked at the edge of the area. Unfortunately, the finish a little bit lacking. After 20 minutes, we've had 14 shots. We're on course to have 60 shots this game. Gabel's free header. It could be disallowed. It's not going to be disallowed. For a second, I thought we were going to have some VAR action. The camera kind of felt like it moved funny. I can't quite describe it, but I'm sure you guys know what I mean. If you play Football Manager, sometimes goals don't get given straight away and you kind of know that there might be an assistant flag up or an offside or VAR about to kick in. I thought that was about to happen. It kind of made me not celebrate quite as much. But no, Gabel's with the finish. And we'll hope for more here. Moreno tries to get the ball and it's blocked away. Only as far as Lenglet though. And we come forward once more. Another onslaught being unleashed. Lucas Romero back post to Moise Kean, who heads it onto the post. You thought Jabels might get there with the rebound. Unfortunately, It's cleared away, but for a corner where we have looked dangerous, Trincao to Wallace at the back post, heads it back into the danger area, no one there. I mean, who was that then who kicked? Was that a shot or a pass? I can't quite work it out. Whatever it was blooming awful. But that isn't going to concern us too much right now. Coming up to 40 minutes gone. We are 2-0 up. We are looking just great right now. Ball switched to its end on ballet. Have a go. Goes wide to Romero. Probably the better decision than the long shot that I was encouraging. Romero dinks it to Moise Kean. Jabels. Is that a foul on Moise Kean? It looked to me like he had his legs taken out from behind, but the referee has said he's won the ball there, the Saint Etienne defender. I mean, going in at half-time, we're going to be 2-0 up here, but I mean, it's just been a rampant display. Saint Etienne, 3 shots, 0 on target. We've had 25 shots and 14 on target. And to make things even better, PSG are losing. What has happened to them this year? I'm going to tell the players I'm far from pleased. We might be 1 goal to the good. We should be more. We could be more. I mean, there's still very much time for us to add a few more. 4-0 at full time would be great. For some reason, 2-0 at half-time just doesn't feel as good somehow. Anyway, chance here. Wallace, a free header, just wide of the post though. We are about to win the Ligue 1 title here in our second season with Lyon. Last year, 96 points was not enough. I think we're actually on course to get potentially less than 96 points, but still win the league, which really highlights how good we were last year. But make no mistake, after the setback that was last year, performing so well but coming up short, this year we've been top notch. Let's make some changes. Let's bring in Fekir for Olmo. I'm going to bring in Aouar for Ndombele. And one last change. You know what? I'm going to bring in Marcelo for Wallace, who I know he's had a great game. But Marcelo's one of the old guard. He's been here at Lyon for the longest, I imagine, or certainly one of the longest serving players here in the team. He deserves to lift the silverware and just get onto the pitch here. And with 17 minutes left, we can afford a few sentimental changes. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Romero to Fekir to Trincao now. I mean, we want 4. We want 4. Trincao wants 1. Oh my gosh, that was not far over. He was trying to pick out the top corner. The shot was always rising, but it wasn't far wide. Fekir, back post. Lenglet has it. Can he make anything happen? He can't. Still hunting for that 4th goal. I'm trying to think what I would like more, the 4th goal or the clean sheet. I mean, I want both. Trincao's been fouled there in the box. Is this going to be a chance for Gabels to get another hat-trick? We're going to go to VAR. But yeah, it's going to be another chance for a Gabels hat-trick, I imagine. Can he get it, though? It would be a pretty nice way, wouldn't it, to wrap up the title if he could. I mean, I'm assuming here that the penalty is about to be given. Is it going to be given? Of course it is. It's going to be a penalty here. Jabels, he steps up. He tucks it away. No nonsense. £25 million. I mean, money well spent. Who is Dembele? We brought him back, the hometown kid. A graduate of the Lyon Academy who left to go to Monaco. Has returned here to score a hat-trick against our rivals. In a game that is going to secure us the Ligue 1 title for the first time in, I think, 15 years. It's been a long wait. I'm hoping that the wait for the next title won't be much longer. What a season. What a performance. And, I mean, I don't really know what to say. You guys have been here with me every step of the way. I feel like here at Lyon, the job is not over, though. I want a Champions League win, if not this season, in the coming years. And with the young squad that we've got as well, you've got to imagine that kind of longer term, we can really, create a dynasty here. But 4-0 is how it's going to finish. We lift the Ligue 1 trophy aloft. Look at that green suit. It brings tears to my eyes. Who's lifting the trophy? Number 29. I actually don't know who that is. I think it might be Toussaint. Who is 20? It is Toussaint. I mean, he deserves to. The unsung hero in a lot of ways. You can see we are 21 points ahead of PSG because they did lose. I mean, there is a slim chance that Monaco and Marseille could overtake them. Although given how poor Monaco's start to the season was, that's unlikely to happen. Anyway, I'm going to tell the players I'm very happy. You can see Auxerre, fantastic win for them. Keeps them very much in the Europa League hunt. But we've won the title. Benzema's declared it a great day. I mean, could we bring Benzema back? Would you want Benzema back? He doesn't really fulfil any of the criteria of players we're looking at signing. You can see Brest beat Lille in a massive game towards the top of the table. Our offer for Eze has been accepted. Let's get him on a contract, please. I want it to be a long-term deal as well, if possible. Let's offer him £1,000 a week. He wants a shorter deal, which I'm not so keen on. There we go. Bruno Eze. I mean, he looks incredible. How tall is he? He's not small, is he? Great work rate, very good pace and stamina for his age. He'll be an incredible box-to-box midfielder if he can just get a little more technically gifted. But, wow. I mean, I did not know if we'd win it this year. Or obviously, the aim was, I feel like, to win the league in the first few years. But make no mistake, PSG are not going to have seasons as bad as the season they've had here regularly. It's just great that we've been able to capitalise on it so well. You can see Gabel's 10 goals in 14 games. And 4 in the Cup as well. He's got 15 for the season since he joined us. I did, if you might remember, back in January, ask you guys in the comment section how many goals you thought he might get. I don't think anyone predicted more than 15. I can't really blame you. But he's done well. Masamba here I do really like the look of. Only 4.5 star potential though. I say only. That's still pretty good, but there's other options out there who are better. Let's just look at 16-year-olds who we've scouted. Who is like the pick of the bunch? Who is the ones who we should be going after? A few with an 83 rating. None of these are ones that we haven't looked at before. Jerome Carré is still there. I like the look of him, if only he wasn't inconsistent. Are there any 16-year-olds valued very highly who we're not really looking at just yet? Let's get out a second wave of scout reports, shall we? Who knows, there might be more players here to take a look at. I feel like Russia always gets some good fullbacks, and this guy looks exceptional at 15, my word. I mean, in any other context, someone would be calling the police right now. It's a good job we're playing Football Manager. Marcel Boloraf, who plays for Salzburg, he looks very good. Very, very good at 16 as a centre mid. He's only just turned 16 as well. I guess the quiz question is, how much do they want for him? 1.2, I mean, we'll wait for the scout report, but 750k looks like a bargain. I would really like to get to a point where we have kind of a top-notch academy where we've just got, you know, loads of players with this kind of level of potential just in our ranks. We've already got a very, very good French core to our under-19s, which is great. I'd like to just continue to add to it, really. Bolraf wants to be a rotation option. That ain't happening. So get that thought out of your mind. He's got quite high demands, which makes you think he's got good potential. Also makes me feel like it's kind of unlikely we can get in the optional contract extension. Unless I offer him something monumental like, I don't know, something crazy like I'm about to do. Like after 20 games we'll give him 18 grand. Let's see what he has to say. There you go, he loves it. We will of course wait for the scout report to see what it has to say on him, but just as a prospect he looks great. In terms of what I like about this guy, his physicals are very good for his age, good determination, pretty decent mentals as well for a 16-year-old who's just turned 16. And his technicals, whilst you'd look there at maybe at first glance and see lots of white and be like, they're all below 10, there's none that are below 5. You know, he's very, very good in all departments. And the ones that are 6s, stuff like long throws and penalty taking and crossing, they're not really concerns for the position he plays. And so with that in mind, you know, if all of those can improve by 4 or 5 in the next 5 years, suddenly he just looks like a crazily good box-to-box midfielder, which actually I think could be where he ends up playing as opposed to the defensive midfielder the game has him listed down as. Anyway, let's continue on forward. We've got one more game I want to get in today's episode. It's going to be against Toulouse. The 2 Nigerian lads are going to be joining us. Combined total of 600k I think that is good value transfers that, they're not crazy players compared to some of the other players we've been looking at. But for the price that we're paying, value in the market. Lacazette apparently is, excited by our form. Man, I'd love to bring Lacazette back. The only issue is he's going to be 29 in the summer. And I do not feel comfortable paying £38 million for a 29-year-old with our current team. Anyway, Bolraff here, we will delay, just awaiting a scout report. But he does look very good, at least on first viewing. Is there anyone here who our scouts are recommending super highly? Jean Nuet. I mean, he looks pretty good, doesn't he? As a right back. Very, very good mentals. I remember scouting this guy, actually. I wonder what kind of asking price we might be looking at for him. Apparently he's good enough to play in our current division. Let's try £500,000 and just see what they say. They want like 8 million for him. He probably is an £8 million player. Oh, my doorbell's just gone. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, sorry about that. That's a rare interruption. I thought I heard my front door get knocked, but I wasn't sure, so I was just like, we'll just keep going. If it's not urgent, then it doesn't really matter. But then the doorbell went. It becomes a lot more difficult to ignore the front door when the doorbell goes as well. So I've dealt with the situation at hand. We've won the league. I shared my joys with my neighbour who was visiting me. And we can now focus on this game. Knowing that we've now got Porto, actually we've got a week's break till Porto. I was going to say we could rotate the team a little bit. I mean, to be fair, we still can. The league's won now. We can't drop down anymore. You know what? We'll just have a full-on party. Let's just rotate the whole team. Gnanon, you can have an appearance. Lala, you get an appearance. Saint Maximin. Yeah, we will actually play. I was about to say, you're not going to play. No, you will play. Gabels can go to the bench and we'll play Moise Kean as a striker. Obviously, we've already rotated a little bit of the team. And you know what? Rajkovic, I'm feeling generous. Get in goal. The beauty of us having wrapped up the league as early as we have is that I can kind of just rotate everything and just play whoever, just to keep everyone happy. Of course, I'd like to continue to set a record points total, but with the squad strength that we have, I feel like our team should be more than good enough to beat Toulouse here away from home. I know they're not one of the worst teams in the league, but I don't know. I feel like we are still very much good enough to beat them here. And that's going to be the aim. We will see how we get on with it. But, yeah, we're going to obviously play the direct 4-2-3-1. I don't know if I can really claim that the 4-2-3-1 kind of direct attacking system change has been a difference maker this year. I definitely feel like it's made it a lot more difficult for teams to defend against us. I think last year, with us, primarily playing a controlling the possession system, lots of teams would just drop men deep and we'd have lots of the ball but not do a great deal with it. With this system, we just get the ball into the final third a little bit quicker. If the other team does have the ball, they commit a few men forward. Because we are very aggressive in terms of getting the ball forward quickly, they don't have as much time to get 10 men behind the ball and just sit. And, lovely finish, by the way, by Moise Kean. Trincao with another assist for his collection. But, yeah, I don't know if that can be claimed as a difference maker. I definitely feel like this system has reduced the amount of draws that we've had this year. Last year's record, by the way, in the league, if I'm not mistaken, it was 29 wins, 6 draws and 3 losses. Right now, this year, we've had 3 draws and 3 losses. So we've kind of cut out half the, well, I was about to say half the draws, but that's not really an exact maths. But, some of the draws we had last year, there is still a possibility now that we, end up with fewer points than last year with us rotating the team a little bit more and, shifting our focus to the Champions League, where we are in the semi-finals, which is massive. I mean, I should make a bigger deal out of the fact we're in the semi-finals of the Champions League, really. That's huge. That really is massive. For us in our second season. Obviously, we're going to do our best in it. Porto, wow. That's a very good goal by Sanguer. I'll give it to him. But, no, just the way things are kind of playing out this year, I'm putting all my eggs now into the Champions League basket. So it does mean our league form might take a little bit of a dip. We might not be able to match last year's points total. But in terms of actual performances, I feel like this year we have been better than last year. Oh my gosh, are they about to score again? I thought they were about to score 2 goals in 2 minutes. We dominated the game early on, but they have scored that fantastic long shot, and now suddenly they're getting a bit of momentum, and I don't really like it. Anyway, it's going to be Toulouse to get the ball forward here to Gradle. He plays it inside to Forsu Mensah. Sangaré. What can they do with it here? Forsu Mensah to Jean. Now with Max Gradle. He's going to switch the play here. Jimmy's there. What a tackle that is by Kenny Lala. And, well, the curve on that pass there to keep it in play has made me feel weird emotions. Can Trincao make something happen? It deserves it for the for the Lala pass. Unfortunately, Olmo's, well, curved effort, attempted effort, I should say, into the top corner just hasn't found the back of the net there. Still looking to reinstate our 2-goal lead before half-time. Glenn Kamara to Danny Olmo, switching the play. What a pass that is. It's only Moise Kean in the centre, punched out to Kamara. He can hit them. He can lay it off to Olmo. Oh my gosh, that was a cheeky attempt. I mean, another opportunity. We're having shot after shot here. Ball whipped in. This time the keeper deals with it a little better. 1 minute left on the clock. Reynet gets the ball forward. Denea to Kamara. What can we do here? Danny Olmo now with it. Ball over to Trincao, who's getting lots of space on the right side. Whips into Keane. He was the only man to aim for. Toulouse perhaps to hit us on the counter-attack now. 40 seconds left. Surely not. This is not the end of the first half we wanted. John with the ball. Runners on ahead. He switches the play to Gradle, who crosses it in. And it's tucked away by Jimmy Dumas at the back post for his 13th of the season. I mean, fair play to Toulouse. 2 chances they've had. 2 goals they've scored. They've been clinical. Max Gradle even, with a break of pace down this right-hand side. And just unmarked at the back post. I'm not gonna overanalyze things because of the nature of the team selection and kind of the approach going into this, but I don't want to draw this game. Let's get a bit shouty. I'm far from pleased, boys. Sort it out. As a reminder as well, we're still in the French Cup. The treble's on. It could happen. I want to believe. Awar crosses it in back post. Who's there? Denea. Narrowly over the crossbar in the end. A leaping header. Not a bad header at all. Forsu Mensah to Gradle. Down this right-hand side. Toulouse, I mean, they look like they want their third. They're not afraid to get a few passes strung together. Sangaré, he's already scored 1. He's already shown he's lethal. Gives it to Jimmy. I mean, it's offside, according to the linesman. I didn't think he was offside at first viewing. It's been given. I mean, I want to get shouty and demand more. Was this offside? I tell you what, it's close. It is off, but there wasn't a great deal in it. Where's the passion, boys? Where is it? 30 minutes to find some passion. Or we could just find Fekir and Gabels on the bench. That is the other option here. I'm going to take off Trincao and bring in Gabels on the right wing. Yes. Do I want to do that? I don't. I'm going to move St. Maximin onto the right and then move Moise Kean onto the left and play with Gabels, I should say. How many times have I switched his pronunciation even in just today's episode? It's a lot. Spoilers. Anyway, you got a hat-trick last game. We need him to get a goal here, really, to be a difference maker. Not messing around. We've brought on Gabels and Fekir, searching for a crucial goal. Toulouse themselves look like they're keen for a third, though. 19 minutes left. Nanon, nice win there. Now can we make something happen? Can we work the space? Can we craft out some opportunities? Fekir. Where is Moise Kean on the left? He's quite high up the pitch, as is Lala here. Tries to get the ball in. Blocked away only as far as Awar, who goes to Kamara. Fekir now with it. Hits it. Oh my... I mean, I'm not going to knock the ambition there. I don't want to crush his confidence too much, but I didn't expect him to score it. From this position, I do. Fekir, keeper spills it. Unfortunately, we couldn't latch onto the rebound through Gabels. But look at that. It wasn't far from getting over the line. Then again, it was also a free kick. So, I mean, that goal line technology seems to kick in a lot on free kicks in FM this year. Kenny Lala. Rides off one tackle, gives it to Aouar. Have a go. Switches it to Moreno. Nice ball. Can we get it in the mix? We can. Gabels is there. And he heads it wide of the post. It was a great opportunity. Moreno's had an awful game, by the way. I mean, I've just been talking this kind of match about how, we've avoided draws this year. As soon as I mentioned it, it looks like we're actually about to just draw this game. It's kind of always the way. We'll go very attacking for 4 minutes, but I can't see us finding a way through here. Unfortunately, we are going to succumb to a draw. Not going to worry about it, because it is our reserve team basically playing. Yes, we brought on Fekir and Gabels to try and make a difference. Unfortunately, we didn't find a difference maker in our team today, but we've avoided injuries, which is the main thing. We've been able to rotate the team a lot. We remain unbeaten in the league. Been a very long unbeaten run. And the other good bit of news is that we are going to be really, really fit and raring and ready to go going into that game against Porto. However, we are also, if I'm not mistaken, going to be without Wallace. So that is something that we have got to consider at centre-back. Who will be the replacement? I mean, in my head, it's between Denea and Marcelo. Denea, you can see a 7.28 rating in recent games. Tete's been pretty poor lately. I might even start Lucas Romero at right back. I feel like the centre mids always get a bit of a raw deal. Bertrand Traore's not had the best game, so maybe we'll play Trincao as well. You know, Portuguese player playing against Porto. That could get a bit feisty, couldn't it? But, well, Toulouse had a goal disallowed. Thank you to the official for flagging for that, because if he had given that, it would have been our first defeat in 4 months in the league. As it is, we remain unbeaten. And, well, all eyes next episode tomorrow are going to be on that Porto game, which is absolutely massive for us, and I can't wait to get into it. But anyway, I'm going to wrap up today's episode here, guys. I do hope you've enjoyed. If you have, as always, do drop a like on it. Obviously, fantastic way to win the league this year. In some ways, I'm a bit disappointed there wasn't some super late drama with us winning the league, but ultimately, we've just been the best team, haven't we? We've just looked very, very good. And I feel like we very much deserve to be where we are in the league right now. Top. Comfortably top. 4 games left. If we win them all, we will do better than last season by, I think, 1 point. Yeah, that's the aim then, to win all the remaining games. But let's be honest, the real aim is to try and win the Champions League from this situation. Porto tomorrow. I cannot wait, and hopefully I am going to see you guys for it. Anyway, that wraps up everything from me today. If you've got any comments, feel free to get them down in the comment section down below. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.